Welcome to Curiosity Chronicles channel. Ever wondered if a penguin, a koala, or a sloth would lose a game of chess against a toddler? What about a goldfish or a chicken? Today, we're taking a hilarious dive into the top 10 genius-challenged animals prowling and paddling on our beloved Earth. Imagine a world where these special critters have their own comedy channels and bloopers are their main act. From penguins waddling clumsily to koalas sleeping all day, chickens running wild, sloths moving at a turtle's pace to goldfish forgetting what they did a second ago. Wait, that's accurate. These lovable goofballs, including our feathered and finned friends, not only keep us belly laughing with their not-so-bright escapades, but also leave us awestruck with their unique laugh-out-loud qualities. Ready to start this comedy show? Countdown? Strap in for the laughs as we commence from number 10. Rolling in at number 10, we have the Kakapo, a bird that apparently missed the How to Fly 101 class. This adorable oddball is a parrot that roots from the picturesque landscapes of New Zealand. But don't let its dazzling green feathers deceive you. This bird packs a bizarre punch that knots it atop our list. You see, the Kakapo is a flightless bird, a parrot that has completely misplaced its flying manual. While other birds are jetting high and scouting the world from the clouds, the Kakapo is grounded, shuffling around clumsily like a feathered penguin. It's like having wings but thinking they're just for show. Waddling on to number 9. Coming in as slow as ever at number 9, we have the sloth, a mammal that's too lazy to move. Now, the sloth is something of a marvel in the animal kingdom, but not because it's winning any races. This creature is so renowned it's slow-paced that it could be outpaced by a snail. Imagine spending about 20 hours a day sleeping, or as we like to say, for the world record in napping. That's the sloth's lifestyle for you. Their slow movements aren't just a physical attribute, but also might be their way of deciding what to have breakfast tomorrow. When danger approaches, a sloth's first instinct isn't to run or hide, but rather it's like, I'll deal with it later. Not exactly the sharpest tool in the shed, are they? Moreover, sloths have the smallest brain-to-body weight ratio of all mammals. This means that they have very little brain power compared to their body size, which contributes to their slow responses and a distinct lack of agility. It's like they're constantly living life in the slow lane. That's why the sloth, in all its sluggish glory, is our 9th pick. Are you ready to meet number 8? Or should we slow down to a sloth's pace? Rolling in at number 8, we have the panda, a bear so convinced it's a ball it even has its own blooper reel. This adorable ball of fluff, often found doing slapstick comedy in the forests of China, is like the Charlie Chaplin of Animal Kingdom. Pandas, despite their size, have a knack for climbing disasters. They often take the expressway down trees, not because they can't climb, but because they're apparently trying to invent the sport of branch diving. They also have this peculiar habit of rolling around, seemingly just to test out their latest tumbleweed impression. It's as if they're constantly forgetting that they're not circus clowns but hefty mammals. Pandas are essentially carnivores who decided to go full vegan. Their food of choice? Bamboo, which frankly has about as much nutritional value as eating cardboard. As a result, they end up munching for up to 14 hours a day just to keep motors running. You might think this lack of dietary diversity and clumsy behavior makes the panda look dumb, but it's actually what makes them comedy gold on a global scale. So, in the league of hilarity, the panda rolls in at number 8. At number 7, we have the koala, a creature that loves its beauty sleep a bit too much. This tree-hugging slacker spends most of its life in dreamland, even outdoing our buddy, the sloth. Here comes the funny part. When they finally wake up from their slumber, they're chomping down on eucalyptus leaves. Imagine eating a breakfast that's not only hard to digest, but also low in nutrition. It's like trying to run a marathon after eating a whole pizza. The koala has to eat piles of these leaves, almost as much as our panda friend's bamboo feast, to its energy levels up. And the twist? These leaves are mildly toxic. It's like opting for a diet of spicy lava cakes. Not the brightest bulb in the box, isn't it? But despite their strange eating habits and sloth-like sleeping schedules, we can't resist falling for these cuddly critters. Their teddy bear-like looks and innocent charm have melted hearts across the globe, proving that sometimes being cute can indeed make up for a lack of common sense. So, with its always ready for a nap eyes and bizarre diet, the koala amusingly snatches the spot at number 7. At number 6, we have the mole rat, a creature that thinks it's playing hide and seek all the time. Indeed, our little friend the mole, while equipped with eyes, is essentially sightless. A bit like having a television without a remote, don't you think? This tiny earth dweller spends the majority of its life in the subterranean darkness, so it does make you wonder, why does it even bother with eyes? Well, the simple truth is, it doesn't. The mole has evolved to be quite content without its sight, instead relying on its sense of touch and smell. The cherry on top, however, is that moles often mistake non-edible objects for food. Imagine unearthing a pebble in your potato salad. It's a bit of a culinary adventure for these little guys every day. It's as if they're endlessly playing Marco Polo, except instead of finding their friends, they're trying to find their dinner, and they're permanently it. Cruising into 5th place like it's late for a very short life, we have the fruit fly, an insect that lives in the fast lane. This pocket-sized winged wonder may lack the IQ of a snail, but boy does it make up for it in clumsiness. It's as if its 40 to 50-day lifespan is one big disoriented party, filled with random dance moves in the air and bumping into things like a pinball in a machine. The fruit fly doesn't bother with strategies or tactics. It's too busy playing pin the tail on the donkey with its surroundings. Not exactly the genius of the insect world, eh? But hold on to your swatters, folks, because our little friend here has a party trick. Despite its fleeting existence and seemingly aimless frolicking, the fruit fly is a master of multiplication, producing offspring faster than a rabbit on a hot date. Turns out, it's not all about the size of the brain, but the strength of the survival instinct. And with that, our fruit fly takes a tipsy tumble to 4th place. Let's see who's next on this crazy countdown. Coming in at number 4, we have the squirrel, an animal that's always on a thrilling treasure hunt, but sadly forgets the map. Now how's that for a sense of adventure? These furballs are famous for their nutty forgetfulness, which often earns them the title of woodland jokers. Picture this, squirrels are like the Goldilocks of the animal kingdom, always hoarding food, particularly during those bikini seasons. They become little furry pirates, burying their treasure troves of nuts and seeds all over the place, plotting to reclaim them during food shortages. But here's the punchline. They frequently misplace the X that marks the spot. Imagine the comedy of errors, squandering all that time and effort just to have your lunch vanish into thin air. Adding to their comedy routine, their spontaneous behavior and abrupt, unpredictable antics are like live-action slapstick humor. Zip this way, then that, mid-scamper, as if they've been hit with a sudden dose of squirrel amnesia. But hey, let's cut our furry comedians some slack. Their forgetful nature isn't all laughs. It also aids in tree growth, as the seeds they lose in the comedy shuffle often blossom into brand new green plants. So with a comical twist and turn, the squirrel tumbles its way to number 3. Who's the next wild card? Strutting in at number 3, we have the Komodo Dragon, a lizard that thinks it's a dinosaur. Now don't let their giant size fool you. Just because they're big doesn't mean they're smart. In fact, the Komodo Dragon is the ultimate bodybuilder of the animal kingdom, all muscles, no brains. Their approach to hunting? Think of them as the bouncers of the wild. They rely on their Hulk-like strength and venomous bite that would even make a rattlesnake blush. As for their smarts, well, they're known to attack rocks thinking they're lunch. Not exactly on the genius of the spectrum, are they? And their method of deciding what's on the menu? They lick it with their forked tongues. That's right. They use their tongues as some sort of primitive taste tester, sampling the world one lick at a time. Not exactly the most refined palate, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So there you go, the Komodo Dragon, a beast that's more about muscle flexing and less about intellectual prowess. That's why our prehistoric wannabe takes the bronze. Now let's see who's flexing their grey matter at number 2. Swooping in on the countdown at number 2, we have the bat, the party animal of the night that thinks night is day. This nocturnal acrobat has been the star of many tall tales about blindness. But here's the kicker, bats aren't really blind. They can see, but let's just say they wouldn't pass a driving test. You'd think a critter that spends its life in the starless night would have better night vision, right? They make up for their not-so-2020 vision with a nifty trick called echolocation. They let out squeaks of sound that bounce off objects, aiding them in avoiding collisions. It's a clever of evolution, but it does lead to some rather hilarious mishaps. Ever heard of a bat pulling a bird box challenge and flying into a wall or a tree? That's echolocation having a bad hair day. Despite impressive navigation skills, bats often end up as dinner for predators because they can't see them sneaking up. It's a tough gig being a bat, constantly playing bumper cars and dodging hungry predators. Making a spectacle of itself, the bat blindly crash lands into the second spot. Ready for the ultimate number one? And finally, the title for the Master of Dumb goes to the turkey. Surely you're not surprised. The turkey, with its nutty behaviors and bizarre quirks, takes the grand prize for the dumbest animal in our countdown. Turkeys are known for their less than genius moves. Practically, they have a weird pastime of sky gazing without a reason. It's like they are waiting for aliens to come and take them away. And it gets even better. They just love to stare at the sky, even when it's raining cats and dogs. Then there's the hilarious issue of their flight. Despite having wings, turkeys are more like terrestrial tourists. They prefer to stay grounded, transforming them into sitting ducks for predators. Not exactly a Nobel laureate move, right? Now the on this dumb cake has to be their love dance. Male turkeys are known to strut around, puffing their feathers and making booming gobbling noises to attract females. But here's where it gets hilarious. They perform this passionate dance even when there's not a lady in sight. Talk about dancing with yourself. And let's not forget their equally comical lack of survival skills. Are known to risk drowning if they look up while it's raining, because they can't seem to figure out that moving their heads might be a good idea. It's almost as if they're vying for the Darwin Award. So with their goofy habits, pitiful survival instincts, and pointless love dances, the turkey genuinely secures its title as the Master of Dumb. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why the turkey is officially the Forrest Gump of the animal kingdom. So there you have it, the top 10 animals that won't be winning a Nobel Prize anytime soon. Our list started with the flightless bird who's forgotten how to fly, then moved on to the slowpoke who might take a year to cross the street, the clumsy climber that can't decide up from down, the forgetful fish who can't remember what it had for breakfast, the blind mole who couldn't spot a pizza even if it had pepperoni on it, the bumbling insect who's a hazard to itself, the silly squirrel who's lost more nuts than it's found, the lacking lizard who's still figuring out how its tail grew back, and the batty bat who's mastered the art of flying into walls. And finally, drumroll please, we crowned the one animal that's reigning champ of all things daft. But remember, while these critters might not be up for any intellectual awards, they all have unique traits that make them absolute winners in their own quirky ways. Thanks for tuning in and getting your daily dose of laughs. Before we wind up, please don't forget to subscribe and provide your valuable feedback.